What's up, Tech Gang? Stefan here from TechRight. Today we have the Galaxy A71 5G versus the Pixel 5. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out there. Now we have the Galaxy A71 5G on the left obviously and the Pixel 5 on the right side. Now these devices only differ about $100 from each other, so the Pixel 5 is going to be about $699 and the A71 5G is going to be $599. So there's a $100 difference, but we're going to be talking about some of the specifications as well as running some benchmarks, and I'm pretty much going to tell you which device is better to buy. Alright everyone, so starting off with the displays, on the left side we have the A71 5G, that's going to be 6.7 inches, and on the right side we have the Pixel 5, and that's going to be 6 inches. We don't have any other options for the Pixel 5, so you are going to have to deal with 6 inches. If that's too small for you, I would definitely get a bigger phone. Something that's in the same price range is actually Galaxy S20 FE, and I would go for that over the Pixel 5 if you guys really do not want a small phone. Going to the resolution, we're going to have a 2400 by 1080p screen on the A71 5G. That's going to be a 20:9 ratio, and it's also going to have a 393 ppi. Moving over to the Pixel 5, we have a 2340 by 1080p 19.5:9 ratio, and that's going to have a 430 ppi, being it's a little bit smaller of a screen. And we're going to have a Super AMOLED Plus screen on the Galaxy A71 5G, and we're going to actually have an OLED screen on the Pixel 5. So the blacks are going to be much deeper on the Pixel 5, but you still get a pretty good screen on the A71 5G. Now, as for the screen to body ratio, we have about an 88% screen to body ratio on the A71 5G, and we have about an 87% screen to body ratio on the Pixel 5. Now, we only have a 60 Hz refresh rate on the Galaxy A71 5G, and we actually have a 90 Hz refresh rate on the Pixel 5, so it's a little bit, quicker looking. It also supports HDR on the Pixel 5, something that the Galaxy A71 5G does not support. And we have Corning Gorilla Glass 3 on the A71 5G, and we actually have Corning Gorilla Glass 6 on the Pixel 5. Moving on to the hardware for our system chip on the Galaxy A71 5G, we have the Samsung Exynos 980, and we have the Snapdragon 765G on the Pixel 5. So I definitely feel like the 765G is a little bit better of a chip. Moving down to the processor, we have an octa-core 22 MHz ARM Cortex A77 and ARM Cortex A55 in the A71 5G. And on the Pixel 5, we're actually going to have an octa-core 24 MHz Cairo 475. Moving on to the GPU, the A71 5G will have a Mali G76, and the Pixel 5 will have an Adreno 620. Now, moving on to the RAM, the A71 5G will only have 6 GB of RAM compared to the 8 on the Pixel 5. So we're going to get 2 extra gigabytes of RAM. As far as that goes in the Pixel 5. Both these devices are going to have 128 gigabytes of internal storage. However, the Pixel 5 will not be expandable via micro SD card, but the A71 5G will, and you're going to be able to expand up to 1,000 more gigabytes on that device. Now, moving on to the operating systems, the Galaxy A71 5G has Samsung One UI, obviously, but it also has Android 10.0. Now, going over to the Pixel 5, we actually have Android 11. So we have the latest software on the Pixel 5. Obviously, they're pretty notorious for dropping their flagship phones with the latest software, so it's really cool that we get all those new features in Android 11, and I'm absolutely loving it so far. As far as the battery capacity, we have a 4500 mAh battery in the Galaxy A71 5G and a 4080 mAh battery in the Pixel 5, but the Pixel 5 has a much smaller screen, so I feel like the battery life is going to be great, not even speaking about the optimization that the Pixel 5 has. Obviously, both of these are not user replaceable. On the A71 5G, all we have is fast charging. However, you can max charge with 25 watt fast charger. And on the Pixel 5, you can only charge max with an 18 watt fast charger. But on the Pixel 5, we also have USB power delivery, we have Qi wireless charging, and we have reverse wireless charging. So you're getting those more premium charging features on the Pixel 5 opposed to the Galaxy A71 5G. Now moving on to the cameras, starting off with the Galaxy A71 5G on the left side, we're going to actually have a quad camera setup. The main camera is going to be a 64 megapixel PDAF camera. The secondary camera is going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide. The third camera is going to be a 5 megapixel macro, and the fourth camera is going to be a 5 megapixel depth information camera. Now going on to the Pixel 5 on the right side, we're going to have a dual camera setup. So our LED flash is going to be held above both of our cameras. Now as for the first camera, we're going to have a 12.2 megapixel OIS and PDAF camera, and our secondary is going to be our 16 megapixel ultra wide. Now we obviously know which camera is going to have the better quality. The Pixel 5 100 times over is going to have the better picture quality and optimization. I should be doing a camera comparison pretty soon on this, so we're going to get into that later on. But getting into the video recording settings, the Galaxy A71 5G can shoot at 4K and 30 frames per second, 1080p at 240 frames per second, or 720p at 960 frames per second. Now onto the Pixel 5, we can actually shoot at 4K at 60 FPS and 1080p at 240 frames per second. So we don't get that 60 frames per second option on the Galaxy A71 5G with 4K, but we do get it on the Pixel 5. So you can record at higher frame rates in 4K on the Pixel 5. Now getting into the front facing cameras, both these devices are going to have a hole punch camera. As you guys can see on the A71 5G, it's the top in the middle, and on the Pixel 5 it's going to be on the top left right there. And absolutely love the wallpapers that actually came with the Pixel 5 to kind of hide that camera away and show more of the screen. So that was a really cool move by Google. But as for the front facing camera, we're going to have a 32 megapixel HDR camera on the Galaxy A71 5G, and we're going to actually only have an 8 megapixel front facing camera on the Pixel 5. So we're going to have an HDR camera on the A71 5G. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like the front facing camera still is going to be better on the Pixel 5 just because of its great optimization. And also both these devices' front facing cameras can record in 1080p. Alright everyone, so getting into the fun part, the builds of these devices, I'm just going to tell you straight out, the build on the Pixel 5 is way better. It feels way better. The Soundstone back is amazing. The fingerprint sensor on the back of this device is going to be way faster as well. But getting into the builds, we're going to have an aluminum frame on the A71 5G, and we're going to have a plastic back on the A71 5G, which kind of sucks, but we have an aluminum frame and an aluminum back on the Google Pixel 5. But they did add some other separate material right here, so we can still have that wireless charging, which is great to see. But the Pixel 5 is just going to feel better overall. Not that the A71 5G feels bad, it just feels less premium in general. Also, as far as the colors go, the A71 5G is going to have a few more colors. So we're going to have a Prism Cube Black, Prism Silver, Prism Blue, and on the Pixel 5 we're going to only have just black and Sort of Sage, the color that I have right here. But I absolutely love this color, so I have no issues with that whatsoever. Now getting into the Geekbench scores, this is getting a little interesting. As you guys see on the A71 5G, we got a single core score of 609 and a multi-core score of 1864. On the Pixel 5, we got a single core score of 600, so pretty similar to the A71 5G, and a multi-score of 1601, so about 263 points away from the A71 5G. Now obviously with the Pixel 5 doesn't bring in power, it brings in optimization, so we'll have to do a real world test to see which one is actually quicker. But it looks for the single core score on the A71 5G, we're placed in between the OnePlus 6 and the Redmi K20 Pro, and I believe it's the same place. Yep, the same place. So in between the OnePlus 6 and the Redmi K20 Pro for the Pixel 5 as well. Now again, the A71 5G did get a couple hundred more points, so we're going to see where that places. Okay, so it places in between the Pocophone F1 and the OnePlus 6, and our Pixel 5 scores in between the Redmi Note 8 Pro and the Pocophone F1. So still pretty decent places for both these devices, especially for the A71 5G, which you can pick up pretty cheaply right now, to be quite honest. But yeah, good stuff from both these devices. I would love to do a real world test to see which one is quicker. But it looks like the A71 5G, as far as the specs, is more powerful. But getting into my opinion now, I really think that if you guys are going to get the A71 5G brand new, I would just go with the S20 FE and pay $100 more, or pay like $20 more and get a used S20 FE. But if you guys are looking for optimization, the latest Android software, definitely go with the Pixel 5. I'm going to favor the Pixel 5 over this device, but you still get some pretty premium features and specifications on the A71 5G for $599. So not too bad of a deal. I would just personally go with the Pixel 5 instead. And if you guys are thinking about the A71 5G, I would just go with the S20 FE, to be quite honest. Again, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below, as well as subscribing if you're not part of the Tech King already. Also, hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified every time I do upload a new video. This has been Safon from TechRight. Peace out, Tech Gang.